Today we're talking about a very important question. Who guards the Guardians? And no, I'm not talking about a new superhero movie, although that would be pretty cool. When we talk about Guardians, we're talking about people who have been put in charge of something important, like your money, your safety, or your rights. But who makes sure that the Guardians themselves are doing their job properly? That's where things get tricky. The phrase, quis custodiet ipsos custodes, who guards the Guardians, has been around for centuries, but it's still just as relevant today. After all, power can be a corrupting force, and those in positions of authority can often abuse their power without anyone noticing. But don't worry, I'm here to help you figure out who's watching the watchers. So, let's take a closer look at some of the people and systems that are in place to keep our Guardians in check. First up, we have watchdog groups. These are organizations that are specifically dedicated to keeping an eye on people and institutions that have power. For example, there are watchdog groups that monitor police departments to make sure that they're not abusing their power, and there are watchdog groups that monitor government agencies to make sure that they're not engaging in corrupt behavior. But while watchdog groups can be effective, they're not always enough. Sometimes they're underfunded, sometimes they're understaffed, and sometimes they're just not taken seriously by the people they're trying to monitor. So, what else can we do to make sure that our Guardians are being properly watched? Well, one solution is to have multiple layers of oversight. This means that there are several different groups or individuals that are responsible for keeping an eye on a particular Guardian. For example, a police officer might be overseen by their immediate supervisor, their department head, an external review board, and a watchdog group. That way, if one layer of oversight fails, there are still others in place to catch any issues. Another important factor in keeping Guardians in check is transparency. This means that the actions of Guardians are open to public scrutiny, so that if they do abuse their power, it can be quickly exposed and addressed. For example, many police departments now require officers to wear body cameras, which record all of their interactions with the public. This can help to prevent abuses of power and provide evidence if something does go wrong. But transparency isn't always easy to achieve. In some cases, Guardians may try to hide their actions from public view, or they may simply refuse to be held accountable. That's why it's important for us, as citizens, to demand transparency and hold our Guardians accountable when they fail to provide it. Finally, we come to the role of the courts. In many cases, it's the courts that have the final say in whether a Guardian has overstepped their bounds. For example, if a police officer is accused of using excessive force, it may be up to a court to determine whether their actions were justified. However, the courts aren't perfect either. They can be slow, expensive, and sometimes biased. And there are some cases where the legal system simply doesn't provide adequate protection for citizens who have been wronged by their Guardians. So, as you can see, the question of who guards the Guardians is a complicated one. There are no easy answers, and no perfect solutions. But by working together and holding our Guardians accountable, we can help to ensure that they're using their power for good, not for evil. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about curiosity? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to Curiosity Caboodle for more fascinating and entertaining content. And remember, when it comes to guarding the Guardians, the key is to stay curious and stay engaged. Keep asking questions, keep pushing for transparency, and keep demanding accountability. Together, we can create a system where our Guardians are truly working for the greater good. Until next time, keep exploring the curiosities of our world. Thanks for watching, and stay curious.